Hello you guys and welcome back. Today's video is going to be another huge bedroom transformation. We are tackling Grayson's new room this time and I am so excited to give him a special place of his own. Grayson did decide to go with a Pokemon theme, which originally did make me a little nervous. I did not want to do a little kid type room as I do plan on these makeovers being a one and done thing. We are putting so much time and effort and money into them and we just can't redo them each time they change their minds on things they like. But with that being said, he was adamant about it, and we, of course, did want him to have the room that he wanted, and he is obsessed with Pokemon, so we put a lot of thought into it, and we found a way to make his room Pokemon themed while also still being very tasteful and something that will grow with him. I am so proud of the way this room turned out, and I think you guys are really going to love it. We are starting the video off by just clearing out all of Quinn's stuff. As you can see, this was Quinn's nursery, and I just needed to get all of the girl stuff out of here so we can get started on prepping for paint and moving on with the makeover. You guys all seem to really love the girls' bedroom makeover video I posted last week, so thank you so much for all of the sweet comments and love on that video. Their room turned out so beautiful and I really wanted to give Gray just as nice of a space, and I feel like we accomplished that and I can't wait to share it with you all today.
All my thoughts are running around inside my head. Emotions keep coming, they're keeping me from thinking straight. Thought it would be different when I got my things in place. Stuck in this commotion, how come I ain't past this yet?
Before we do get too far into today's video, I did want to introduce you guys to Toon Blast. Toon Blast is a free-to-play mobile puzzle game where you have to blast cubes and create powerful combos to pass each level. I love puzzle games and Toon Blast has quickly become my new favorite. I have been playing every single evening to wind down and relax after a long day of taking care of the kids and the house. I am currently on level 47, but there is over 7,000 fun levels to keep you happy. In addition to the main levels, there are also fun and challenging mini games you can play to claim rewards. You can also join a team and work with other players to unlock rewards or compete against players around the world to win great prizes. One of my favorite features of this game is that you do not need Wi-Fi to play, which has been great for me as I am able to play while I'm waiting in the grocery pickup line or when we are traveling throughout the summer. Toon Blast is so much fun and has millions of reviews and super high ratings, and once you download it for yourself, you will see why. Download Toon Blast for free using the link in my description box or scan the QR code on screen here and receive 3 hours of unlimited lives and 100 free coins. And thanks so much to Toon Blast for sponsoring today's video.
But some things stay the same.
Now that we have everything off of the walls and everything out of this room, I am going to be moving on to prepping the walls for paint. I'm just going in with some mud. I want the walls to be nice and flat and as perfect as I can get them. If I'm going to spend the time painting, I want them to look as good as they possibly can. So I'm just going through and filling all of the nail holes and all of the screw holes and any little bumps and nicks in the drywall. Once I was finished mudding all of the walls, I didn't want to bore you guys with too much prep work, so I'm just going to do a quick transition here and we are going to be ready to start painting. I got all of the baseboards and the trim taped off. We sanded down all of the mud spots and I also took off all of the outlet covers. I was really excited to start painting over all of the pink in here because of course this is going to be a boys' room now, and we did decide to go with Repost Gray by Sherwin-Williams. This is the gray we have throughout our entire house, and I just feel like it is the perfect gray for our home, and that's why we wanted to use it for Grayson's room as well.
I just need you to know that I want you close.
If you ever are feeling the itch to switch something around in a bedroom of your home, I would highly recommend starting with just a new coat of paint. Never underestimate the changing of a paint color because it makes such a huge difference in any room of your home, even if it's just a feature wall. I am a big fan of feature walls. As you can probably tell throughout my home, I feel like we do incorporate a feature wall into every single room. And I will say here, I did start painting this wall on the far side, and you will notice me stop cutting it in because I forgot I was going to be doing this wall a completely different color, so I didn't want to waste my time cutting it in with the gray.
But I want you close. Ooh, ooh, closer than before, and no one knows.
Now that we are finished cutting in the bedroom, we are moving on to my favorite part of painting, which is rolling. I always love watching the rolling footage sped up. I feel like it is so satisfying, and I wish it was this quick in real life. Painting this bedroom probably took me about 4 hours between cutting in and rolling, and it did end up needing 2 coats of paint, but I won't show you the second coat of paint just because the first coat is what really makes the difference, and I don't want to bore you guys with too much painting footage. If you have not yet seen my girls' bedroom makeover video, I believe I posted it 2 weeks ago, I would highly recommend going and checking that one out as well. It is such a huge transformation, and I am so proud of what we did in that room. I will have it linked down below in the description box, and I am just so excited to have both of these bedrooms completed. They are 2 huge projects that I felt like were just looming over us, and now we can finally move on to the next room.
You blow my mind. I don't know if you know yet what's all around, and I'm dying to tell you. Well, I know that by now it is obvious, and that maybe I'm wasting my time, but I gotta try. The only reason I keep sneaking out.
So this was a couple days later, and I finished the 2 coats of gray on all 3 of the walls, and now we are going in to do the feature wall. The color for this wall is Carbon Copy by Bear. This is the exact same color we used in our office. I loved it so much in there, so again we decided to bring it into this room as well. And with what we had planned for the decor and the wall pieces, I knew the dark color would just make the colors that we had coming into the room pop that much more.
Coming to get you. I've tried sometimes, but you're making me nervous. No, I've realized that I can't live without you. All my friends reassure that it's obvious, and that maybe I'm wasting my time, but I gotta try. The only reason I keep sneaking.
Even though this is such a dark color over such a light one, I still do 2 coats of paint. I feel like no matter what colors I am painting a wall, I always like to do 2 coats just to make sure everything is covered and it looks as good as possible.
I'm gonna win your love, coming to get you, dying to feel your touch. Wish me the best of luck, coming to get you. Wish me the best of luck, trying to steal your hand, coming to get you. Coming to get you, coming to get you.
So this was a couple days later, and this was after I finished painting the second coat, and we are just going to quickly remove all of the tape off of the walls, put the outlet covers back on, and then we can move on to the most fun part, which is bringing in all of the furniture and starting to decorate.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down.
I laughed so hard while editing this because it looks like Justin grabs Quinn and throws her across the room, but I promise you that is not what happened. Whenever we grab her or try to move her, she will fling herself onto the floor. Everyone was fine. We were all laughing, but I did just want to make sure I said that because it does look a lot worse than it was.
I really thought we had it covered. Was gonna patch up all the scars, but we smashed up all the parts. Oh na na na. Always knew that you were stubborn, but didn't know it'd be so hard to figure out who you really are. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river.
We didn't have to buy any furniture for Grayson's room, which was really nice. He already had a really nice bedroom set with the matching nightstand and the dresser. So we saved a lot of money with this makeover with not purchasing furniture. And we did actually DIY almost all of the decor in this bedroom. I'm really excited to show you guys once we are finished with building the furniture, but I am so proud of how we styled his room.
No us no more, we don't know. No us no more, no, no. We don't know. No us no more, we don't know. No us no more, we don't know. No us no more, no, no. Yeah. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, down, down. Baby going down, down, down.
I did end up purchasing Grayson the exact same box spring that I purchased for the girls' beds. It is a low profile one, and I love the way his fits into his bed frame. The entire box spring is pretty much covered by the base around the bed frame, and I really wish the girls looked like this. You guys gave me a ton of great ideas in that video on how to cover the box spring. And I did end up ordering a couple of white fitted sheets off of Amazon, and I'm hoping those cover the box spring perfectly.
No us no more, we don't know. No us no more, we don't know. No us no more, no, no. We don't know. No us no more, we don't know. No us no more, we don't know. No us no more, no, no.
I had a really hard time finding a bedding set that I liked. I really didn't want something that was insanely colorful and very little kid looking, if you know what I mean. I wanted something that would grow with him and was tasteful, and I found this one on a website called Bright and Roomy. I had never heard of them before, but I ordered it and I absolutely love it. It is a dark color and it has the Pokeball on it, but the Pokeball is made up of the shapes of all of the Pokemon characters, and I just thought it was super cute, and he really liked it, and it honestly was exactly what I was going for.
Cannot believe that what we had is now gone, and I don't know how to be alone. Feels like my heart is.
So now we are going to be moving on to all of the wall decor, which I am so excited about. I purchased these Pokemon prints off of Etsy, and we just got the digital files, and I had Justin print off the actual copies onto some canvas. I had so many questions about when we did this in the playroom. I did some of these canvas prints in there, and the way we were able to print on canvas is Justin's parents actually own a sign and decal shop, so they have some huge commercial machines, and one of the machines does print onto large rolls of canvas. So we do have the machines that we are able to do things like this. I don't think it's something you could do from home, but you might be able to go somewhere like Staples or to a local sign shop in your area and see if they would be able to do this if it is something you are interested in. I personally love the look of the canvas, especially on the black wall, but if this wasn't an option for me, I would just print these onto cardstock or paper and put them into some nice frames.
Maybe we'll get there. I know you think of me 'cause I've been thinking about you. Even though we disagree on most things, baby. Maybe we'll get there. 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 Maybe we'll get there.
And if you were wondering what those red lines were across the wall, it is just a laser level. Justin was using it to try and hang these prints as straight as possible. Lining up 6 prints like this is very hard to do by eye, so having a laser level was a lot of help.
Get right back where we started. Yeah. 'Cause we don't talk that much and we don't share a lot. Even though there's nothing interactive lately. Maybe we'll get there. I know you think of me 'cause I've been thinking about you. Even though we disagree on most things, baby. Maybe we'll get there. 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 I'm a mess. Don't know how I got here, but I'm blessed.
Now that the prints are hung and his bed is made, we are moving on to the biggest project of the entire room. I found this Pokemon shelf online and I didn't want to pay the astronomical amount of money that they were wanting for it. So I thought maybe we could try and attempt to make one. And I will say we did an amazing job. I don't want to toot our own horn, but we really nailed this. And I am so proud of how well this turned out. Props to Justin because he honestly did 90% of the work. He cut it, as you can see, freehand, and he made the perfect circle and he cut all of the pieces out. And like I said, I am just very proud of how this shelf turned out. I'm just giving you an overview here of all of the pieces he cut out, and I'm going to go through and prime them all with just some white paint just so the wood doesn't peek through. And once the priming is done, I'm going to use a can of spray paint to paint each different color because we need the red, the white, and the black for the Pokeball.
It must be nice, you went and got a penthouse, all your friends partying is real loud. Brand new money with a brand new chest, still a baby bird right straight off the nest like you.
Also, please ignore how messy our garage is. That is a project for another day. You will notice I am doing a very thin coat of spray paint for my first coat, and honestly, I probably didn't shake the can enough looking back at these clips, but it all works out in the end. Don't worry, it definitely pulls together after I get about the third coat of paint on them. But I will say I would never use spray paint on a project like this again. I would not recommend it. I originally got the spray paint because I thought it would be the best way to avoid brush strokes and texture on the shelf, but it caused us nothing but issues. We went wrong from the second we purchased it. We bought glossy spray paint, which was way too shiny. We did not like the way it looked, so we did try to buy top coat. It was a satin top coat, and that ended up leaving a residue over the paint, especially the black. It almost looked whitewashed. It was so frustrating. We had to repaint a lot of the pieces multiple times, and it just was not exactly what we were expecting. In the end, it does all look fantastic and it did pull together, but it was quite the headache. You will notice my outfit change multiple times as we are painting and working on the shelf, and it is because it took us so many days to get the paint right.
Those colorful eyes, they don't shine like they used to. The city don't want us, babe. We won't survive this place. The city don't want this. The city don't want this. And if I would lie and stay.
Now that everything is painted, we are going to start putting the Pokeball shelf together, and putting these shelves on was so stressful. You will also notice we're wearing gloves, and that's another issue with the paint we were having. The black paint was leaving fingerprints even though it was drying for over a day, and we just did not want to wait any longer. I wanted to throw the shelf together so I could get this video up. This is the biggest holdup we had, and this is why this video didn't go up last week. It was this shelf causing us so many headaches. But like I said, the shelves were so stressful to try to get even and level and flat. Because it is going on a circle, it was just really hard to measure everything. So we were kind of just eyeballing it and doing the best we could with measuring it out, and it did end up turning out perfect, and I am just so happy with how it looks in the end. You will also see my face here. I accidentally moved the shelf and I didn't want to tell Justin. He already had drilled the pilot hole and measured everything out, but luckily I only moved it a tiny bit, so it didn't make any difference.
Are we falling? And if I would lie and stay, it wouldn't feel the same. I won't lie, no, honestly, it doesn't feel like home, like home.
You will see me grabbing some containers and boxes to rest this shelf on. It was extremely heavy since it was solid wood, and I couldn't get in there to hold it up. It was very awkward, but luckily we were able to balance it on these shelves to get it hung. We did just drill this directly into the wall, and we just made sure we hit the stud since, like I said, it was heavy. And then I'm going to go through with a little bit of paint to cover the screws that we used to drill it into the wall.
Doesn't feel like home, like home, home, feel like home. A faded mind, so we stay blind. Home.
Now that the shelf is on the wall and the screws are dry, we are going through and just collecting all of Grayson's little Pokemon characters and his Legos and all his little tins and collectibles, and we're just setting these up on his shelf. You will see him beside me as we do this because he, of course, wanted a say on where everything goes. purchased this lamp from HomeSense, and I think I'm going to do the same thing with this lamp as the girls have with theirs. If you saw their makeover video, they have some flowers and butterflies with little magnets attached so they can kind of decorate the lamp as they choose. I'm going to try and find some little Pokemon figurines. The only one we have right now is this Pikachu, but I'm going to glue some magnets onto these so Grayson can also decorate his lamp, and it's a great way to customize a lamp, but then as he gets older, he can take the magnets off and the lamp can still be used. My mom got Grayson this Pokemon poster that lists a ton of Pokemon, and she actually put it in a frame, which I love because now it looks like artwork instead of just a poster. I also purchased Grayson a new laundry basket. I wanted to switch this one out for the dinosaur one just to have something a little more neutral. You guys will have to let me know down below in the comments what your favorite part of Grayson's new room is. If I had to choose one thing, I would probably have to pick the Pokemon shelf just because we did make it and put a ton of effort and love into it, and I am very proud of how it turned out. But let me know down below what your favorite piece is. Okay, you guys, that is going to be everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I am so happy with how everything turned out, and I'm honestly so happy to be done both of these bedrooms. These things have taken up all of our free time over the last 6 to 8 weeks, and I'm just so happy they're done and we can move on to the next project. The kids are also so happy with how everything is, and honestly, that's all you can ask for, and that's all I wanted. But thank you again for watching. Don't forget to download Toon Blast using my link down below in the description box. It is such a fun puzzle game, and I know you guys are going to love it. And I will see you all next week with a brand new video. Bye, guys.